Hey guys, what is the ups? It's Ken Wagner, and today I decided that I'm going to do some video games on my channel, because why not? Well, okay, so I started this, and so I'm gonna have to restart it, which I'm really mad about, but, you know, you're not missing out on anything, so, I mean, hey, let's get started. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. There's no need to explain. It's only natural. A mother's love. A mother loves her daughter more than anything in the world. He hates you, doesn't he? The whole lot of them despise you, don't they? Chasing you into the forest and gouging a hole into your leg. All because you smiled at their husbands. And you know what? You deserve it. You freak. You disgusting, horrible, filthy little girl. Didn't I tell you to stay away from them? You'd never listen. Serves you right for being a dirty little girl you are. But you didn't have to worry, my darling. It's alright. Even if the whole world wishes you were dead, I promise you this. Your mother will always be by your side. My goodness, child. Whatever has happened to you? A girl slumped in the doorway, soaked by the rain. Her legs were covered in dirt and blood. She lifted her head upon hearing the priest's voice. He stared at him with blank eyes. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. She hobbled forward, her bloody leg giving away. Automatically, the priest rushed forward to steady her. Years of spiritual training had prepared him for the most unexpected guest to his church. He sprung into action. He ushered her to a pew, brought out some clean cloth and antiseptic, and began to bandage her wound on her leg. And yet, throughout all this, he found that he couldn't take his eyes off her. He would be gazing, he'd be gazing at the roll of bandage in his hand, deciding how to tie them. And then, out of nowhere, he would start staring into her eyes. Even with the mud and grime smeared across her face, he couldn't deny that she was absolutely beautiful. How old was she? 20? 18? 16? Her face was so young. The priest had long since aged past his desire for the opposite sex, but somehow, something about her interpreted him. When he realized his own thoughts, he quickly steered his mind towards other matters. My child, what happened to you? She seemed to take a minute in the world before responding. He looked at me. Looked? He looked at me and he touched me. And then he started to kiss me. At first the priest didn't understand. And then he realized with a jolt of anger what she meant. It was happening more and more nowadays. The young men of France these days were spirited, uncontrollable ruffians. A lady walking home by herself at night would be preyed on to a few number of them. Lust. One of the 7 deadly sins, the one that the priest personally despised the most. Furrowing his brow in sorrow, the priest laid his hand on her thigh. You are safe now, child. God's house is a sanctuary for the faithful. I don't think he'll protect me. He looked at her in confusion. You see, Father, I have sinned again. Right there among the pews before the altar of God, she bowed her head. I'm sorry. Was she apologizing to him or something else? Someone else. Her hair hid under her hair hid her face and her eyes. The priest couldn't make out neither head nor tail of her. He suddenly realized his hand was still on her thigh. He hurriedly drew it away. I'm sorry. She repeated this phrase over and over. After a while, the priest got up. Don't fret, child. You are not to blame. I will contact the local constable, but in the meantime, you are free to make yourself at home here. I will fetch you a hot drink. He patted her hand and left to go to the back room. She remained seated at the pew, her head bent forward. The priest's footsteps faded away. The entire church fell into silence. Now that it was the dead of the night, the clouds covered the sky. Barely a sliver of moonlight filtered through the stained glass. The girl sat alone in a ring of darkness. She opened her mouth. I don't know, I know. If I say my piece, surely. Yes, yes, mother. But he is so very kind. My child, follow mother's words and leave. You saw the look in his eyes, didn't you? You cannot stay here. Even the man of God can stain you with the filthiest colors. Be a good girl and follow mother's words. But it's cold outside, mother. The rain has not let up yet. Can't I stay? All right. I suppose you can. But you must be wary of everyone in this church. Do you understand? You are so weak, my darling. You forgive my heart. You gave my heart so much pain. I'm sorry, mother. I will try to stay out of trouble. How am I going to mind you like this? You attract so much misfortune everywhere you go. My stupid little girl. Always a belay, aren't you? Whatever would you do without me? I'm sorry, mother. Thank you for always guiding me. It is all my fault. The girl sat in silence. Mother was right after all. She was always right. Everything was her fault. She shook her fist in a mixture of fear and conviction. She had to do penance. Mother, give me strength. There is something I wish to do. The girl rose from the pew. In front of her was an altar. On top of the altar was an ornately decorated cross. It was as wide as her head, and the tip of the cross had been crafted with such it was a razor sharp. She left the pew, knelt briefly, and then walked over to the altar. Don't tell me. You're quite sure you're doing this? The girl's arm trembled ever so slightly. There is only one way for me to atone. She picked up the cross. Oh, my darling daughter. Mother is proud of you. Slowly she brought the sharp end close to her face, so close it hovered above her left eye, and then she... Okay, we're on chapter 1 now, but we're not going to get into it because, I want to save it for a later episode, so I'm going to save. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the main menu. Yes, I would love to. Alright, so this has been the first part of Cupid, a visual novel. Alright, well, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye!